Finally, man, after a draft full of trades for the Saints, they only had a couple picks this season. With the last pick in the draft, the 6th round, they take a defensive tackle out of Air Force, Jordan Jackson. He's a 6'5", 295-pound defensive tackle out of Air Force. He didn't play in 2020, sat out that year. He played in 2019, and he played 13 games, had 38 tackles, 3.5 sacks. He also played in 2018 with 54 tackles, 4.5 sacks. But this year he played, finished with 41 tackles, 7.5 sacks. That's a big number. That's a big jump, finishing with 7.5 sacks. This past season, he's obviously showing pass rush ability and things like that. That's what you want out of a defensive tackle. Most of these guys can stop the run. They're big guys. They're strong guys. They're hard to move, but it's hard to find that guy that has pass rush moves to go along with that run stopping ability. He seems that he has those things. I haven't watched film on him, just like I haven't watched film on DeMarco Jackson. I will watch film on both of these guys very, very soon and kind of do a game film breakdown if I can find, some things on these guys, especially, guys from these smaller schools in these later rounds. It's hard to find things on them, but I'll definitely be looking for that and trying to see what they got. But definitely what's jumping off my screen early, man, is that he can rush the passer, man. That is big. We got Onyemata, who can rush the passer. Sheldon Rankins, when he was here, he was really, really good at rushing the passer. We need to get, pass rush from that interior. We know we're bringing on the outside with the Saints, man. You got Cam Jordan, you got Davenport. You're adding Peyton Turner, Granderson, Tano into that mix. Now you add another guy into that mix that seems like he has some pass rushing ability. I'm not sure how good it is. I'm not sure if he has some fluke sacks, but from the stats and from what I've been reading, seems like he's going to be a solid pass rusher. He's going to have to fight to make this team, though. Just because you were drafted does not mean you're making this team. The Saints D-line is tough. They're about 8 or 9 guys deep right now. You got guys that can play inside and outside, so it won't just be an easy or a sure thing they're just gonna make this team if you're on the Saints roster right now. So it's gonna be a lot of guys fighting for a couple of spots, and that's a good thing, man. Competition always brings out the best in everybody. The Saints definitely, they did what I said, man. I had a couple needs for the Saints. Defensive tackle was definitely one of them. Linebacker was definitely one of them. And with the 5th and 6th round picks, they kind of covered both of those needs. I still think we could have left with a safety, but my theory is still holding true, man. It's still holding true from when Malcolm Jenkins retired. I said I wanted Gardner Johnson to take over that safety role. It seems like they're going that way, especially after drafting Alontae Taylor and saying they see him as a cornerback. I'm really almost convinced that Gardner Johnson is going to take on that full-time safety role. Also, another key that could have gave y'all, a hint into that thinking was we re-signed Roby when we could have saved $10 million in cap by just releasing him. He ended up taking a pay cut and coming back. Only way I see, the Saints bringing him back is if they needed him in that nickel role. If not, it was no need to bring him back. But if they think they need him in that nickel role, I think that is because Gardner Johnson may be moving to that safety in the box role that Malcolm Jenkins played, which I think he could be one of the best in the league, if not the best at that role, because that's how he plays anyway, and that's just what's best suited for him. So we'll see how this goes, man. But that's a D tackle we drafted. I'm happy with this pick. I'll give this pick a B, just because I know it was one of our needs. So definitely gonna give this pick a B. Not grading the player, like I always say. I'm never grading a player, especially a player that I've never watched. Haven't watched him at all. So giving a B just because we needed the D tackle. It's gonna be I would have gave it a higher grade, but it's gonna be tough for him to make the roster. And if he doesn't make the roster, it's hard to give an A grade to someone that probably not going to make the roster. It's going to struggle to make the roster just because we're so deep at that position. But this was a need. Hopefully he can pan out. Hopefully he comes in and show what he can do. But as always, man, let me know what y'all think in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn them notifications on. It's going to be a lot more draft wrap-up, draft reviews, more game film that I can find on these guys. I'll definitely be trying to get a lot out there in this next coming week. Man, as always, this is the Boo Tragedies, and I'm out.